So today we're digging into something pretty wild, how one single policy change, aimed squarely at the tech industry, is accidentally creating a huge crisis for healthcare in rural America. We're talking about a six-figure price tag and the real people caught right in the middle.
Yeah, let's just start with this quote because honestly, it cuts right to the heart of the whole thing. This isn't some abstract problem, you know? It's the daily reality for folks like Becky Holzcom, who are on the front lines of a healthcare crisis that's popping up in places you might not expect.
So where is this happening? Let's head to Hettinger, North Dakota. It's a small town, about 1,000 people, and it's home to West River Health Services. It's a small rural hospital that, like so many others across the country, is really struggling to find staff.
So here's the deal. The lab manager, Becky Holzcom, she desperately needs a qualified lab tech. And when she puts the job out there, crickets, 0 applications from U.S. citizens. But she gets over 30 from skilled professionals in places like the Philippines and Nigeria. So problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. There's this brand new massive fee, we're talking 6 figures, that's now standing in the way. It's forcing her into this impossible choice. Either you overwork your current, already exhausted skeleton crew, or you face a cost that a small hospital like hers just cannot afford.
Okay, so what is this massive hurdle causing all this chaos? Well, it all boils down to a visa program you've probably heard of, the H-1B visa.
Right, so the H-1B visa, it's specifically for highly skilled professionals. You know, think doctors, engineers, scientists. It's basically a tool that lets employers fill these really critical roles when they just can't find enough folks here in the U.S. to do the job. And, up until very recently, the fees to sponsor a worker were, pretty manageable for most employers, even small rural hospitals.
But then this past September, a presidential proclamation came out and just completely changed the game. I mean, for workers applying from outside the U.S., the fee went from a max of around $5,000 to a flat $100,000. $100,000. That's a 20-fold increase basically overnight. Just wow.
Let's just let that number sink in for a second. $100,000. For a small hospital like West River Health Services, that's not just some fee you write a check for. It's literally the same as the annual salary for 2 full-time lab technicians. So what was supposed to be a staffing solution suddenly becomes a budget-breaking crisis.
So you might be asking, why did this happen? Well, the policy was really aimed at the tech industry to try and curb what some saw as abuses in the system. But the healthcare sector is getting hit hard, especially in these underserved rural areas. It's a classic and pretty painful case of being collateral damage.
And look, this hits so hard because our healthcare system in the U.S. really relies on foreign-born professionals. Just look at these numbers. 16% of registered nurses in our hospitals are immigrants. And get this, nearly a quarter, 1 in 4, of all physicians practicing in the U.S. went to medical school outside the country. These aren't just extra hands. They're a fundamental part of the system.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Where do these professionals actually end up working? Research from JAMA shows that H-1B doctors aren't just filling gaps in big cities. Nope, they are overwhelmingly serving our most vulnerable communities. In fact, they are almost twice as likely to be working in rural counties compared to urban ones. And in high-poverty areas, the percentage of H-1B doctors is way higher.
And it's exactly this reality that leads experts like Aram Alam from Harvard to basically say, hey, the healthcare industry wasn't even considered here. They're going to be collateral damage. And the impact is so extreme that it's clear nobody really thought about these ripple effects. So this really brings us to the core of the debate, right? On one side, you've got a policy that says its goal is to protect American jobs. But on the other side, it's slamming right into the reality of healthcare staffing, especially in places where, like we saw in North Dakota, there are 0 U.S. applicants to begin with. So what's the response been? Well, a huge coalition, we're talking more than 50 medical societies and rural health groups, has officially asked the administration for an exemption. Their argument is pretty straightforward. This fee is going to disproportionately crush the already struggling healthcare systems in rural America.
But the administration is defending the policy. A White House spokesperson said the fee is designed to, quote, put American workers first and to stop companies from spamming the system and driving down wages. They're making it clear this rule applies to all industries, not just tech.
Okay, so there is technically an escape hatch. It's called a national interest waiver. But, and this is a huge but, the official guidance says it will only be granted in an extraordinarily rare circumstance.
Immigration lawyers are basically saying the bar to clear is exceptionally high, which, doesn't leave much hope for most of these rural hospitals.
And here's the thing. This isn't happening in a vacuum. While the U.S. is putting up these giant hurdles, other countries are basically rolling out the welcome mat. It's turning into this fierce global competition for the exact same skilled workers.
And this has real, immediate human consequences. Just look at the story of Dr. Vijaya Chelakani. She was hired to be a kidney specialist, a desperately needed one in Shelby, North Carolina. Her furniture, it's already in a storage unit in Charlotte, but Dr. Chelakani herself is stuck in India, and her future patients are stuck waiting, all while her employer tries to figure out if they can somehow get this $100,000 fee waived.
And wow, does this just perfectly highlight the contrast? While the U.S. is creating all this uncertainty with huge fees and vague rules, our neighbor to the north, Canada, is doing the exact opposite. They just announced a multi-billion-dollar investment to attract skilled workers, including a faster visa process. Their prime minister even called it a clear offering to the very same talent the U.S. might be pushing away.
So all of this leaves us with a pretty critical and urgent question. In a world where these skilled medical professionals have more choices than ever before, if the U.S. makes it too hard or just way too expensive for them to come here, who's going to be left to take care of the communities that need them the most?